The House of Commons. In the House of Commons are all the politicians who are called members of parliament, and they are voted for in the constituencies. In the United Kingdom there are a lot of areas, and these are called constituencies. There are a lot of constituencies all over the whole country. And in all these constituencies, the people are all voting for one person then, and that person who the most people have voted for becomes a member of parliament and represents that one constituency in the House of Commons. So the people of a constituency, a small area in Britain, they are voting, and the person in the constituency who got the most votes represents them in the House of Commons. And in the House of Commons there have been all these members of parliament there. The Parliament of Britain has two chambers, the House of Commons and the House of Lords. And in the House of Commons there are these politicians, and in the House of Lords there are then peers. And the peers are people from members of Parliament of the House of Commons. So from time to time the leader of a political party advises the monarch to appoint that or that person to become a peer in the House of Lords. And now we're working together. The one people, they are creating a new law, the people of the House of Lords, they are oftentimes from lawmaking or from business. They had careers in these professions. And now we're creating a new law. And then the people in the House of Commons, the politicians, the members of parliament representing the constituency, are discussing them. They are debating about that. And then the other ones of the House of Lords looks if that law makes sense. But the House of Commons can overrule the House of Lords. Now, how did it all start? There was, after the Glorious Revolution in the 17th century, a different form of democracy, not the democracy as it is today. Many less people could vote. Only men could vote, and only if they had a lot of money or property. And that had the case, that made it then that there were constituencies, so areas in Britain, where basically only a few people could vote. Only one rich family could vote. And these were called, then, the ones were called rotten boroughs, and the ones pocket boroughs. So pocket boroughs were ones where only a few people could vote, but there were the even worse ones, rotten boroughs. And where almost no one could vote, because in the whole area, in whole Britain, in the constituencies, no one had enough money or property to vote. Then there was the reform in 1832, another one in 1867, and then more people could vote, and they didn't have to have that much money anymore. And then also in 1918, 1928, women got the right to vote, and today, everyone in the United Kingdom over the age of 18 basically can vote, and also be voted for. So in all these constituencies in Britain, all these areas, there are the people voting for another person, and everyone can also be voted for. And now that person becomes a member of parliament and comes into the House of Commons. In the House of Commons, they are now debating and representing their constituencies, talking about new laws, getting new laws proposed by the House of Lords, and we're talking about it, and the House of Lords looks if it makes sense, and then it goes back and forth. And that way, the politics is made with the House of Commons and the House of Lords in the United Kingdom. And that is according to the Life in UK Test Handbook, page 110 and 111.